Well, guys, we're going to get started on more balancing equations. And the ones that we're going to talk about today are on page 83 in your book if you're using the green book. If not, I'm not sure what page they will be on. But we're talking about balancing equations in which we want to count the polyatomic as one unit. In other words, we're not going to break our polyatomic apart. Now, how do we know when we want to use the polyatomic as one unit? So when you see the polyatomic on both sides in its polyatomic form, so if you notice that you've got SO4s here and there, here's NO3s where they're still in exactly the same form. Here's NH4 and NH4. On this one, you've got an NO3 and an NO3. So if you notice those, then this would be a way you could do that. Now, just remember, you do not have to do it this way. You could definitely break it apart into your oxygens and your sulfurs, or your nitrogens and oxygens, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put a piece of paper here just so that I can have a little bit more room to write. So again, remember, our first step is to always count our atoms. So write down your different elements. And when I go to write these down, in this case, since I'm looking at SO4 as a unit, I leave these together. So on the reactant side, I have 1 iron, 2 hydrogens, and 1 sulfate. 1 because there's no parentheses with something outside of it. On this side, I have 2 irons, I have 2 hydrogens, and I have 3 of the sulfates. Now, generally, I try to go ahead and balance the polyatomics first. So let's try that. I have 3 sulfates on this side. I only have 1 on this side. So if I put a 3 out here, that's going to give me the 3 sulfates that I need. Okay, 3 times 1. Remember, it is a multiplication. Now, that also changed my hydrogens in this case. 3 times 2, I now have 6 hydrogens on this side. So let's see. Another thing that if my irons are messed up, or I can continue to work with my hydrogens. So I have 6 hydrogens on this side. I only have 2 on this side. Again, it is a multiplication. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. And then I can fix my irons. I have 2 on this side, and I can easily put a 2 here because, again, that's like a 1, so that would be 2. And I am balanced. Guys, I strongly suggest you always go back through and just do a double check. 2 iron and 2, 6 hydrogen and 6 hydrogens, 3 sulfates and 3 sulfates. So always go back through and do a double check. Also, if there's a line that doesn't have, put a 1. The reason why I strongly suggest you put this 1 here, even though it's kind of understood there, because if you're doing a multiple choice test or so forth, then it's possible the answer will be written like this. And so a lot of times, just to see if you're paying attention, I will give this also as an option to see if you know that there's a 1 there. Okay? So just be sure to fill in any blank spots with a 1. And there was a plus sign missing there, if you didn't hear me say that earlier. So we have K, we have S, we have Fe, and again, I'm going to leave my polyatomic as a group. So I have 2 potassiums, 1 sulfur, 1 iron, 3 of my nitrates. 1 potassium, 3 sulfurs, 2 on the iron, and again, there's no parentheses, so there's only 1 of the nitrates. So again, if I'm given the choice, I'm going to start with my nitrates first. So I'm going to go ahead. I have 3 here. I need 3 here. That's going to give me 3, but that also changes my potassium to a 3. Okay, let's see what else we need to change. I need 2 irons, so I'm going to need a 2 here. That changed my 2 irons. But that also caused a problem here because when I put this 2 here, 2 times 3, I now have 6 nitrates. So I kind of messed up what I was starting with. So in this case, it might have been easier to start with either the iron, sulfur, or potassium. Okay, so I'm just showing you, different ways you can start different things. So, and sometimes you start one way and then you turn around and you decide, hey, I should have started somewhere else, scratch it, erase it, maybe go on to something else and come back. Okay, so again, looking here, it looks like this is messed up. I got 2 here, I got 3 there. That's really going to mess things up. So we're going to keep going. Let's just see what we want to do. I'm going to go ahead and go to sulfur here because I'm kind of messing things up. So I've got 3 sulfurs there. I need 3 here. So that gives me 3 sulfurs, but now I have 6 potassiums. Okay, so let's go look at what I've got here. So I have 6 potassiums, 3 sulfur, 2 iron, and 6 nitrogen, or nitrates. I have 3 potassium, 3 nitrates, 2 iron, 3 sulfur. So it looks like I need to go in and fix the potassium nitrate. So I have 3, I need 6. So instead of a 3, watch what we do this. So instead of a 3, what I really want here is a 6. See what I did that? Because I have to double it. So 2 times 3 is 6. So now when I go back in, that gives me 6 potassiums and 6 nitrates. Okay, go back through and double check. Now here's the one thing I want to tell you guys. I could pick the easiest route every time to balance. But if you don't see me go around in circles, you're going to start thinking that you've got to make it right the first time. And that's not the case. So every now and then, wherever you start might not be the easiest thing. In this case, probably the easiest would have been to start with my iron and my sulfur, actually. And I have some kids who just write it and then they just start at the top. They start with potassium, then sulfur, and then iron, then nitrate. You do whatever you want to. And again, if you get going around in circles, then erase it all and start over. Okay, so number 3. So again, let's count. Okay, so I have my count done. See if you agreed with me. And then let's get started. So it looks like just my ammonium and my chlorine are off. They're together here, so that's going to look like it's going to work fairly nice. So if I put a 2 here, that's going to give me 2 chlorines and 2 ammoniums, and that looks like that's all that needed. Okay, so 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay, just real quick going back to this one, I did forget to put the 1 in there. Okay, and let's do one more, number 4. Okay, so go ahead and be sure you get your elements written down. Lead, again, I'm going to leave my nitrate together, my potassium and my bromine. So let's count them up and see what we get. Okay, so check your count, see if you agree with me. And then let's get started. So it looks like the nitrate on this side is messed up. The bromine on this side is messed up. So you could kind of start wherever you want. So I think I'm going to start, let's see, I need another nitrate over here, but I need another bromine over here. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put my 2 here. So that means I'm now going to have 2 potassiums and 2 nitrates. So that's going to fix my nitrates. I still need to fix now potassium and bromine. They're together over here. So if I put a 2 here, that's going to get me 2 potassiums and 2 bromines. Okay, looks like that worked right there. So again, go back through and double count. Again, and I can't tell you enough to always go back through and just do a quick check just to make sure you didn't recount something wrong when you were down here. Okay, so that is 4. I think I'm going to stop there on giving you examples, and you're going to do the problems at the bottom of the page and have those ready to grade.